How do you survive bears, dear listener?
Where on the bear do you stare? This bowl of porridge is just right. Must beware of the bear. Not like Dad, he's down the pub, he doesn't care. But Mum's
Mom
taking
bear
care of
is
the
very
kids.
protective. We know that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Hey, YouTube bears, it's Cathy Bear.
And Lady Bear coming at you with another unbearable installment of Bear with Bear! For the bare necessities.
Simple
Bare
necessities.
necessities. We're talking about bears on today's installment of Cat with Beard.
Because there's a surprising amount of bears in Japan. I didn't even know how bad the bear situation was, but like you said, it's unbearable.
It's an unbearable bear establishment in Japan, it is. It's hey, you have to lay yourself bare when you come to Japan and encounter the wildlife.
And a lot of people recently, especially the tourists who come here a second or third time, they're like, I want to go to the countryside. I want to experience the nature of Japan. Well, there might be a bear.
Yeah, they would barely make it out alive.
Yeah, if at all. Like, you know, it could become quite a bit unbearable problem.
Yeah, right. So today, we are going to teach you all about the Japanese bear situation and how to keep yourself safe from the unbearable consequences of upsetting a bear.
Yes, and there might be some possum advice we can give you over the duration of this podcast. And at the end, we will tell you our own unique ways what to do when a bear attacks us. But before that, please actually listen to the advice. What you should do if a bear maybe approaches you or you see a bear. There's things you shouldn't do.
Possum advice?
Possum, like a paw, like a bear paw.
Oh, I think you meant possum, like the small little creature that goes in the roof.
Not
I was
your
trying
possum.
to think how that was related to a bear.
Listen, it's a paw. I was trying to get away from the unbearable bear puns.
Wow, we'll claw our way back into the context. Here we
See
go.
what you did there.
See what I
Oh
did there.
no.
All right.
So, Japan, bears. Here we go.
Bears.
It's actually more common than I thought it would be.
There are bears everywhere here. Bears beware.
That for sure. And even in the old fairy tales or like Japanese folklore, it has usually some characters who have to fight with a bear, that kind of stuff. So actually, bears are a way bigger problem than it might be in your country.
Is a bear's a problem in Germany?
No, not really. We don't really have problems with bear attacks. Sometimes we have like wolf things and
Wolf things?
Yeah, we have
Wow.
like wolves who then, might actually steal a sheep
That makes
or
sense. Why all your
something.
nursery rhymes are about a wolf, like Red Riding Hood and what have you. Yeah, I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, how
Fair
is that in Australia? Bears?
Well, we don't even have bears. We have koala bears, but please don't call me a koala bear because I'm not a bear at all. Koalas are marsupials. We have strayed from the topic of Japanese bears.
Yeah, coming
already.
back, rolling
Coming
it back. So there have been more and more encounters between bears and people, and actually recently one made the news as well. We're going to talk about that in a moment.
Extreme.
And the damage caused by bears is becoming unbearable.
Unbearable. So tell us about the two predominant types of bears in Japan, Cathy Cat.
There's the Tsukino Wakuma, so there are the Japanese black bears, and then the Higuma, the brown bears, and both are just as problematic. They're quite numerous in Japan.
Yeah, is there one that is worse, the black bear or the brown bear, that you need to be careful of? Or are they will both destroy your life?
I think they're both very wild animals that you should not mess with.
All right, very good. All right. Well, okay, very good. So the Tsukino Akuma is on Honshu.
So the main island of Japan.
Yep, particularly abundant there as compared with the other regions of Asia. And the Higuma is in Hokkaido, primarily. Highest bear population density of any bear habitat worldwide.
So that's where you can take that away. This is the high bear density.
It is the highest bear population density place on Earth. Hokkaido.
Bear density, the simple bear density.
I like it.
Yeah, weird. So we're not playing this up too much. If you haven't seen a bear in your country, you're more likely to encounter it maybe in Hokkaido.
Have you seen a bear?
Luckily not, apart from in the zoo. And I prefer them to be near me only when they're in the zoo. But we're going to talk about what we do when we meet it later. So bear population explosion.
Yeah, so
it says here.
So bears are an endangered species in a lot of parts of the world. However, it turns out in Japan, there's been an explosion of the bear population.
So the Japanese black bears, that's Kinowakuma, there are 44,000 in Honshu and Shikoku.
That doesn't seem like that many to me. That's like a small village of humans, 44,000, right?
Yeah, but they're rolling around wildly, so they're not in a zoo or any kind of enclosed area.
Good point.
I guess,
Just running around. And then the higuma, the brown bears, there's 11,700 of them in Hokkaido. And that brings the total bear population of Japan to about 56,000.
The simple bear density of 56,000.
So, in the Meiji area and the subsequent human development in Hokkaido and other areas, that led to human-bear conflict, resulting in death and injuries, particularly since 1962. That's when this whole thing kicked off.
Human-bear conflict is one of my newest favorite words, and I think you should write that in the comments right now. Your favorite words or bear puns, write them in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube right now.
It sounds like it's going to be kind of a dystopian animated film from a cub's perspective, 1962 when the conflicts began.
Bear conflict, human-bear conflict began. It's not the AI that we're battling, it's the bears that we're battling.
So Japan's got a limited landmass, you see. So that means that human settlements and bear habitats often overlap. So that leads to frequent encounters between bears and humans.
So there's also why are there so many bears? Japan actually thought there's a spiritual connection with bears. So, you wouldn't really just go out and kill a bear just because you want to eat bear meat or something. So some even believe that the term kuma, bear, comes from the word kami, deity. So it's not something you would go out and shoot because you're hungry.
Yeah, because it's almost the way the Indians revere cows, I suppose. There's a certain element of reverence for the bear.
The culture of reverence presents excessive culling of bears, especially if they aren't seen as a threat.
Yeah, that's right. So don't harm a bear unless it's trying to harm you somehow.
So now we have talked about how more and more places in Japan become abandoned villages, less and less, people in there, which means now the bears are more likely to also enter human territories because there's less humans out.
There's people there. Isn't that interesting, actually? This is, one of the knock-on consequences of this population decline that people don't think about. You have less humans, that means the bears move in.
I like that one is as mountain villages are abandoned, forests are either developed or overgrown, bringing bears closer to human areas.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
I find that interesting that they're just you know what, I'll stroll a little bit over here.
Yeah, I mean, just like if you don't put up a scarecrow, the crows are going to get your wheat. If you don't have humans, the bear's going to get your house. You know what I'm saying? That's a real problem. Bears moving in.
Yeah, definitely.
It's become a Disney film now. The bears are moving in. All right.
What was it? Not? It's going to be Lady Locks and the Seven Bears.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, good. It would be Lady Locks and the Seven Bears. Great point.
So bear versus human.
But hang on, but listen to this as well. Yeah. Also, because of climate change, that is also affecting bear activities. So this is changing the timing of flowering and pollination. The plants, affecting the bear's traditional food sources. So that's forcing them a lot of the time to migrate to other areas in search of food, particularly the human areas. Particularly in the north of Japan, mountainous areas and lush scrub provide an ideal bear habitat. But of course, with the climate change, change that all. Hey, bears at the shopping mall. What you gonna do? Bear versus human. What are we gonna do?
Exactly, bear versus human time. So now I remember I went once all the way just up. If you just go with the car up from Tokyo, you get to Niigata and such. And I remember one morning, instead of an announcement of saying, I don't know, the older gentleman Tanaka-san is currently lost and we were trying to find him, the announcement would be, there's been another bear sighting. Please don't go out at dusk and dawn. So they will actually just constantly make announcements saying, by the way, dangerous creature out there. Be careful on your stroll.
Wow, isn't that interesting?
So that's what I experienced bear-wise, just random bear warnings.
In Australia, we don't. It's interesting because in Australia, we have this reputation of all the wildlife is trying to kill you in Australia. But unless you're in the bush where you got to be careful of snakes and spiders and things like this, you're fine if you're in the cities and whatnot. The only exception, this reminds me of the water because it's like if there's a shark sighting, then everyone's got to get out of the water real quick, right? So I guess it's the same with the bears here. There's been a bear sighting, so everyone's got to be careful of the bear situation.
Stay away. And I mean, they're big and they're very, very strong, so you don't mess with them. So the frequency of bear encounters has increased as more people engage in activities as mountain climbing, fishing.
Yeah.
You know, the human presence is out there, and then there's all the people who are like, oh, I am going to be the explorer. Let me go into that mountain all by myself. Very bad idea. Bear attacks. Beard attacks. They're now more common in residential areas. With incidents such as the 2009 Norikura Dake attack, where a bear, unafraid of humans, injured tourists. Tourists, they can get you. You thought you were going to go and have a good time? Too much nature for you.
Yeah, too much nature
Nature
for
fought
you.
back.
They will never head back into the forest, those tourists. Yep, they will keep it urban from now on.
Be careful.
And some bears are actually becoming less and less fearful of humans, which is interesting. In 2023, a bear in Sapporo was attracted, get this, some YouTuber left food lying around, pizza specifically, attracted bears, and now the bears are repeatedly returning to this human area. Hey, I have nothing to say apart from frickin' YouTubers. Anyone on YouTube should be shot.
We are on YouTube right now.
That's the joke.
Okay. Right. Here we go. The dilemma of bear control, however.
That's the joke. Just make it clear for anyone who didn't pick up what I was doing there.
No.
That is the joke.
By doing cricket.
Anyone on YouTube should be fed to the bears. That's what I think.
I'm a cicada. I'm the last cicada of summer. Anyway, so the dilemma of bear control. While the Japanese public is generally sympathetic to bear protection, the increased frequency of urban encounters means traditional conservation methods like relocation are becoming less effective. Because you, like we said earlier, you relocate them, they come back. You relocate them, they come back. They're smart.
Yeah, and they figure out there's a food source, and they're like, well, it was great down there. I don't need to hunt. I don't need to fish. I don't need to do anything. They just bring me honey in jars. I'll just go straight there. That sounds great.
Tasty stuff I had there. I would like to have more of that.
Yep. And so bears figure out where the food's at, and they come back again and again and again. You got to be real careful. So recently in Akita City, there was
that one's famous. You might even have heard about that online.
There was a horrendous bear incident when a bear injured a 47-year-old employee. And so here's what happened, right? This was in a supermarket. So a bear entered a supermarket in Akita, injures an employee, and then he just sets up shop.
Yep,
he just sets up shop in the supermarket.
It's not leaving.
And he's like, I'm not coming out, man. Look at all this meat. So he's just hanging out eating meat. It took 2 days to capture this bear in a trap.
Just vandalized the store.
It's just he's eat
all the meat.
Knocking over shelves. And he's like, whatever, man. It's my supermarket now.
This is my supermarket.
That's right. So he, after attacking an employee, I guess everyone ran away. All the humans ran away.
Everyone's
the bear
out.
just chilled at the store. He's like kicking back and eating and whatnot. They had to send in a drone after the bear. I'm a bit confused. Was this like a surveillance drone to see what the bear was doing, or was it an attack drone? It was a surveillance drone,
probably
right?
Surveillance. They probably wanted to find out what's going on.
They sent in special forces to take care of this bear.
Special bear forces.
Yeah, so officers had to enter the store wearing protective gear, and they found the bear chilling out back at the storage area.
Yeah, just trying to get supplies, extra supplies.
And they had to get this. They had to set traps for this bear with apples and honey.
Honey. Apparently you catch the bears with honey and apples.
Well, you catch more bears with honey than vinegar.
Apparently you do.
Hey. So yeah, it took 2 days to capture this bear.
Took quite a while to capture this bear.
What a legend, by the way. That bear is awesome.
So how do we survive bears? How do you survive bears, dear listener?
Must beware of the bear.
So, according to the government in Hokkaido, when you go into the mountains, you need to be careful of these things. So you need to actually be prepared before you head into the mountain. Not just in Hokkaido. Some of these tips apply to kind of all mountainous areas here in Japan.
Got to prepare for a bear.
All right.
For the bear, 100%.
Prevent close encounters is a no-brainer.
Yep. So be aware of your surroundings, particularly if it's like foggy or something like that, dodgy weather, bad visibility. Know what's going on around you. You don't want to be like, dip, oh, a bear. Turn around to face with a bear. That's what you need.
The same thing applies to the bear. the bear, don't stop. The bear needs to be aware that you're there.
Yeah.
Bears generally leave you alone if you have some sort of sound on you. So if you have a bell or something that continuously makes a sound, they usually leave you alone. They hate to be startled though. So if you just by yourself, they call it bear bells. They have them usually in 100 yen stores too. Something that makes sound. Sometimes some hikers would carry a radio on them.
Oh, really?
So there's constantly someone talking.
Oh, is that what that is? 'Cause I see
Yes.
people out in the countryside sometimes there. They got a radio on. I think to myself, oh, I guess that's just something you can do in the city when there's, what you can do outside the city when there's no one else to bother. But that's what it is. It's to keep the bears away.
Yeah, did you notice that generally those people who walk around with the radio, they don't listen to music. It's generally people
It's talking.
talking.
Yeah.
So they
that's
have
right.
like the sound of like several voices in there. So the bear thinks it's more,
big
maybe
group of people.
maybe that's what they're trying to do there. But generally, yeah, that's another thing. Bear bells or a radio where people are talking.
Bear bell. Cling-a-ling-ling.
Bear bell.
Bear bell on the bear bell. Stay away. This is important. Stay away from deer carcasses.
Yeah. So areas that you can tell that bears will probably frequent that because they might get the munchies.
Yeah, because
Stay
if
away.
he murders a deer and he leaves his deer there, that's his food source. So he doesn't want anyone to do. He's going to come back. Yeah. So for you deer carcass enthusiasts watching, sorry to ruin your fun.
Yeah, don't go there. This is not your. This is actually the bear snack pack.
Somewhere there's a 16-year-old listening to this who has a bedroom just covered in posters of bear carcasses.
No, not bear,
Dreams of
deer.
bear carcasses. Deer!
Deer.
Somewhere there's a 16-year-old watching this who has a bedroom just covered in posters of deer carcasses. A deer carcass enthusiast.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Hey. We can still care for a carcass. This is absurd. Let's keep going.
Okay,
Right.
this is getting out of hand. So prevent attacking bears. Avoid leaving food or garbage out.
Attracting bears, prevent attracting
Generally,
bears.
don't leave food or garbage out in Japan. Anyways, anywhere.
Yeah, that's frowned upon in Japan.
Yeah, don't. The littering generally should be frowned upon anywhere in the
don't
world.
do it in Germany or Australia or the United States or anywhere else either.
Step 3: be a decent human and tidy up after yourself.
Yeah, try not to be a douche.
Yes.
That's good bear etiquette. Try not to be a
Good
douche.
bear etiquette and person etiquette. And if you are a camper, a lot of people love camping.
Yep.
There is actually, as a camper in Japan, one thing you need to know: have your food made and prepared away from your tent.
Yeah.
Because at night, it might actually attract, or in the morning hours, it might attract a bear. Have that away from you so it can turn over the tent or whatever where the food is, but not the tent where you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, about 100 meters away between your food storage and the living area.
That's correct. You want to make sure you do not provoke any of the bears.
Yeah, you do want to make sure you do not provoke any bears. Just saying, Lady Bear. You can't.
Why was I singled out?
Because you don't dance in front of the bear.
I'm just a 16-year-old with a bedroom full of deer carcasses. I'm not going to go upsetting a bear.
Okay. Keep a safe distance for any signs of bears still.
Yeah.
If
keep
you
a
hear
safe
movement
distance.
in the bushes, do not approach and try to find out who's trying to mess with ya.
Yeah, it could be a dancing bear. You want to be careful.
If you move over 50 meters away, make noise and then pass quickly. So the distance is going to become important. So I hope you have a good measurement in your head of distance, because that's actually what might save your life.
Yeah.
We're going to come to that in a moment.
That's right. Yeah, you want to clear that distance, don't you? You want to get more than 50 meters away and then begin your noises. Get out of there.
If you are on a bicycle, what do you do?
Oh, you do not get on your bike and ride as fast as you can, because that's going to make him chase you. Mm-hmm. You get off your bike and you walk from the bear nice and calmly. And you don't bring untrained dogs into a bear habitat.
They will just try and pick a fight.
Yeah.
And that could be the end of both of you.
Your dog, your deer carcass, everybody's having a bad time then.
Yeah, definitely.
Very bad. So, how does one survive a bear sighting?
Let's go for distance. If you see a bear super far away, say about 100 meters, further than 100 meters, quietly exit the area and don't alarm the bear. So that's when you're actually supposed to be quiet. Now it's gone to a moderate distance. You accidentally stumble. A bear is about 20 to 50 meters away.
Yeah, you've already made a series of errors to get that close to a bear
You've
somehow.
already done something wrong and you
But
did not wear your bear bell.
Yeah, let's try and keep you safe. Try and get you out of there. How are we going to get you out of there?
Stay still,
Yep.
make noise, and
Yep.
make yourself visible.
But specifically,
That's
are there specific noises that must be made? Like, I imagine you don't want to start singing.
Bare necessities.
Yeah, that's the song that was in my head. I was trying to think of something else. I was going to say the YMCA, but
Da, da, da. Yeah, don't do that.
don't. Shiori, are there specific noises that must be made for your bear protection protocol?
It can be any noise, but don't make it too big.
Really?
Because that might upset the bear and then they will attack you.
I see.
As I understood it, you had some sort of bear training in school?
Yes, we had like kind of like how to deal with the bear situation at elementary school because like my school was next to a small mountain where one bear family lived.
Oh, so that one, everyone has to cater for that one bear family then.
Yes, so like every winter and every spring, that's the time when they might come down to the
Really?
like
It sounds like some village in a fairy tale when there's a witch living on a hill and everyone needs to bring presents to the witch so she leaves them alone.
No, like a
That's-
dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
The mountain bear.
Yeah, right. There's one
And
bear
the family.
Okay, so you had specific bear education, a beducation. Were any kids ever eaten by bears in school?
not the kids, but some actually saw the bear.
Really? Bear sighting.
That's already a bear sighting. That's dangerous. So, coming to bear sighting, how close was the proximity? Was it a 50 to 20 or was it less than 20 meters?
It was really far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
It's already a biggest warning
get away
now.
from the bear.
So, coming to closer proximity.
Yeah, if you get within
then.
20 meters of the bear, you've got a big problem.
20 meters of the bear, remain calm,
Yeah.
avoid sudden movements, and prepare. And I hope you have that
Yeah, I'll be on
bear
your
spray. Your bear bells is too late for that, love. It's too
Yeah,
late.
right. So your bear spray.
Bear
So
spray.
you have to be prepared with bear spray when you go into a bear region.
Yeah, if you don't have bear spray, I guess you're, it's not doing so good.
Wow, I guess you'll be bare naked with the bears.
And then if you actually are very unlucky, and that's the worst thing that could happen, is when you actually already have done an area because you're too close and there's an aggressive charge if the bear approaches quickly, try to look larger and use spray if necessary. You might not make it out of that one.
So I guess it's going to look larger, like increase your physical size, I guess.
It's like,
Try to size up or get on top of a rock or something.
Yeah, climb up
Trees,
somewhere.
if you try to climb a tree, is that an effective bear defense?
In order to look yourself bigger, yes, it works.
But if he thinks you're running away, he's going to chase you?
Yes.
So this is an essential factor, right? If a bear thinks you're running from the bear, he's going to chase you, yeah?
that's like a
Yes,
natural
he's
instinct.
going to. Yeah, natural instinct. He's going to chase you. Yes.
And I've heard you say before as well, the most important thing is if you see a cub, a baby bear, then
boy.
stay away because that means mum is close by and she'll protect her babies, right?
Yes, and mom bear with the baby is the most aggressive bear.
Really?
The protection.
Not like dad, he's down the pub, he doesn't care. But mum's
Mom
taking care
bear
of
is
the
very
kids.
protective. We know that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah.
Right. So if you see a baby bear alone, doesn't that also mean something in particular?
That's probably nearby. She's generally nearby, somewhere in the
Generally
bushes.
nearby.
or
Yeah,
somewhere. Don't
she's
mess it.
generally nearby. So, like, if you see baby bear, like, as soon as possible, you have to stay, like,
Get away.
Keep the
What if-
distance.
this is get us a bit of a tangent, a bit strange, but what if you see a baby bear and you can visibly see that his mother has passed away? Is it still dangerous? Is the baby bear gonna,
You phone the local authorities and still get out of there. That's what I would do.
you still get out of there? You're not gonna mess with a baby bear?
You tell them.
Yeah, maybe there might be, daddy bear nearby.
Or brother bear?
This is like every kind of movie ever made where you like meet a random cute creature in the wild, and either it's like, oh no, the mother has passed away. What do I do to save you? Or it's like, dun 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 dun. Tyrannosaurus Rex mummy comes by.
It kind of reminds me of there was that one time when I was walking through the forest and I actually stumbled upon this house. And I went in there, right? And there on the
This
table...
already sounds like a
there
fairy
were-
tale, by the
well,
way.
no, there were these 3 bowls of porridge on the table, right? And so, like, I had one of them. I'm like, well, this bowl of porridge is too big. And then I had another one. And I'm like, this bowl of porridge is too small. And then I had the last one. I'm like, this bowl of porridge is just right.
Yes. Okay. Oh my god. So things you should never do.
That's what happened, eh? I'm
Go
not
into
lying.
the bear's house. Don't go into the bear's house. Act abruptly.
Beardy locks. So
don't
and the
panic.
3 bears.
Don't do any sudden movements, and don't eat the bear's deer carcasses.
Don't eat deer carcass.
Don't eat the bear soup.
Even if it's just right.
Yeah, don't eat the bear soup.
It was interesting because then I felt a bit tired and wanted to sit down. So they put some chairs. I went to one of them. I'm like, well, this chair's too big. Went to another one. This chair's too small.
Guess one of
But
them
then
was
the
just
third
right.
chair, it was just right.
Again, don't go into strangers' houses in the first place, especially if they're bears.
Yeah, well, that's a bear.
This is another thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, running with your back to them is another one. Don't do that. I
Yep.
mean, that's like the first thing you would do.
Yeah, these are things you can never do if you see a bear. You can never act abruptly. You can never run with your back to the bear. You can never make eye contact with the bear.
That's where I think gets really tricky. You can't turn around or run, but you still have to you have to look at the bear, but don't look at the eyes, because that's like picking a fight.
Isn't that something? I don't know where you would be your instinct to look at the eyes, wouldn't it? Because you'd see where he's looking. But now it's going to be like, where do you look? You look at his paws?
Yeah, just look at his stomach, maybe? Somewhere in the bear vicinity.
Bear encounter.
Bear vicinity. Bear encounter. But then you have to still look at it. How do you
true
do that?
I don't. How you sure? Where on the bear do you stare?
Where on the bear do you stare?
I mean, they're big. You can look at their body instead of their face.
Okay.
I see.
Let's look at it. I remember I once had an encounter with a wild boar.
Oh, a boar's not a bear.
Yeah, a wild boar. But there I got told that I have to walk backwards while making eye contact. So with
really?
that one, you're not allowed to turn around and run, because then they chase you. That's just a natural instinct.
Really?
But you had to make eye contact and walk slowly backwards. That was very scary. Close boar encounter, but with bear encounter, don't make eye contact, but still look at the general vicinity of bear.
I thought that was something. I remember you saying once before that was what you were supposed to do: keep eye contact and slowly walk away from the bear. No.
This is a tricky one. You can actually look at into their eyes, but you cannot stare at them.
Okay, so
It's really it's really first person perspective kind of sense, but you can't put yourself on an atmosphere of I'm going to kill you kind of.
Really? But you also
be big, but don't be threatening.
But also, you can't have an atmosphere of I'm scared of you and you should chase me because I'm prey, right?
Yeah, you kind of have to ignore it.
Just
I'm not
chilling
quite
with
sure if
bears.
we're going to survive this this bear encounter. Also, in case they nabbed something from you, maybe they stole your bowl of porridge.
Yep. Well, yeah, could
First of all, you don't go and try to get that bowl of porridge.
that's gone.
And whatever they like, do not bring that back into that location, because they might like it so much they want to have it again.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so if anything they love and they bring it back to their den, it's gone forever.
Gone forever. Don't even think about it.
No. Don't bring that back there. Don't take it from them. The bear might come after it. They like stuff. Once
Yeah,
they
they
like
love
something,
taking
they
your
will
stuff.
like it. Like the same thing with the food. They were like, "Ooh, that was good food. I would like to have that again."
Got to return to the scene of the crime. Get more. So, have you ever been to the Japanese forest, into these bear
I
habitats?
actually climbed one of the mountains where apparently Kintaro had a fight with a bear.
Did he?
I did actually climb up that mountain. I tried to make a lot of sounds. We filmed a video there. We climbed all the way up and we climbed all the way down. It's famous. There's like lots of bear statues in the area. And I didn't see a bear, but I'd met people who had the bear bells on, or people who had that radio playing. So that makes sense
Really?
now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Did you have any close bear encounters?
Not to my knowledge, unless there was a bear present and I was just going da 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 da, hey, and I wasn't paying attention, which could well have been the case. But I used to always theorize as to how I would fight a bear if the opportunity arose.
So
Or the necessity arose, I guess.
The necessity. There is actually a story that's a couple of years back. There was an old man, I think he was fishing or something in the mountains in Japan, and a bear did attack him. And he was one of the few people that actually survived the bear attack because he was actually an older gentleman who was a master of martial arts.
Oh, good. Okay.
And he just used one of his martial arts movement to use the weight of the bear to his advantage. And apparently the bear ran away after that.
Really? It sounds like a very fanciful story.
It
doesn't
sounds a bit
Sounds
like an
very
urban
unlikely
legend.
Here, this was always my theory. I was like, when the bear goes up on his back legs, right?
Like,
He's all slow up there, right? But I'm like, well, the dangerous bits are the claws and the mouth, right? It's okay, so they're all the way up there, so I'm kind of okay while he's up there. It's when he's down on all fours that I got a problem. So my strategy was going to be, if I could get him to go up and then just time my distance perfectly so that I could, as he's coming down onto his paws, before he could start the gallop, then hit him in the face with long-range kicks. That was going to be my bear defense strategy. I'll be frank. I think the bears are likely to beat Ladybeard in a fight, in a hand-to-hand combat scenario. But here's what's interesting as well about Japan, is guns are not commonly held in Japan.
Nope.
So therefore, in the United States, if a bear shows up, I imagine it's see you bear, right? But they don't do that in Japan because guns are very, very rare in Japan. And the animal conservation people are like, no, you will not shoot the bear.
Again, we had that bear in the shopping mall for 2 days and people couldn't get it out there.
Yeah.
So, there's been a bit of a problem with that situation.
I totally imagine a bunch of OG sons, going, I
don't know. It is tricky because as well, like, people will feel some sort of like kinship with bears and they're actually cute. Or look at the bear in the supermarket. Everyone had a bit of a laugh looking up on them, on the social media. So I guess it's also harder to just go, yeah, they just went in and shot the bear. Everyone would be crying, right?
Very upset.
So you have to find some sort of situation. That's how they did it with Apple and Honey.
Maybe, not the electronics company Apple, although, hey, maybe they could contribute somehow to this situation. Maybe Apple should make the anti-bear Apple Watch.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
Here's what I might work on. I might work on developing psychic powers. So the next time I encounter a bear, I will hypnotize the bear using my psychic abilities, and then I will mount the bear from behind, and then I shall become the great northern bear rider.
Bear rider.
Yeah.
And I'll be singing Bare Necessities to it.
Please do.
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. I'm not going to sing more of this song now, because we have actually reached the end of this episode.
We have. Well, we've all learned a lot. Cathy Cat, what's your highlight of this episode?
The highlight of this episode is probably that we not all the way onto the end made bear puns. That's already probably quite good there. But
probably good.
Actually, I did learn that there's way more bears than I thought there would be. And
bears,
if an
thousands.
entire school gets taught about bears because their one bear family lives on that one mountain, like that one dragon, then it's serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the bear family was like the troll living under the bridge, wasn't it? So, yeah, you got to take care of the bear.
I mean, if you're coming from a country where you actually have bears nearby or maybe bear sightings nearby, then please let us know in the comments on YouTube what your experiences are with that, and maybe your bears have to be treated differently from Japanese bears.
And let me tell you, I actually didn't finish my story before, because what was interesting is when I was in the forest that day and I entered the house, finally, I got really, really tired. And I was like, oh man, I would love to take a nap. And I went and I actually found 3 beds in the upstairs room of this house.
And with this one, he went good night.
One of them, I was like, oh, this bed's way too big. I can't sleep in this.
Oh, let me guess, the other one was too small.
I was like, this bed's so small.
Yeah, I thought so.
But then I got to a 3rd bed and I was like, this bed is just right.
All right, and that concludes the episode of Bear with a Bear.
Hey.
And I hope you didn't encounter any other bears that then came into the door.
Well, no, all 3 of them showed up, did they? Yeah, Axe Chopper Woodman to come and help me out.
All right. I have nothing more to say, but then stay away from the bears as much and don't get
Is that
into
what
the...
happens? The bears come home and they find her sleeping. Is that what happens? Then the woodchopper comes? I can't remember. What happens in the story?
I just know that the bears come home and they're not impressed.
Do you know what I did? What I would do, here's what happened in my story, actually, the final conclusion, is I popped out of the bed. All 3 bears were up on their hind legs, and I waited perfectly with the timing for them to all come down onto their all fours, kicked all 3 of them in the head. Bap, 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 all 3. Bap, 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 bap.
And then you ran out.
I beat the bears, and now I live in that bear house.
Oh, you live in the bear house now.
Oh, exactly right.
All right.
That's why it's now,
and that's how
beardy
you
locks
solve
and the 3
your...
beards.
And that's how you solve the renting situation in Tokyo. Apparently.
Yeah!
Kick the bears out of
Exactly.
Anyways, we're going to close up this random, unbearable story now.
This has been awesome.
We'll see you soon next week with another episode of Bear with Beard.
Well, I went the traditional ending and you went a unique ending.
Bear. That was unbearable.